Yeah, I know what it was.
I got up on Saturday, Sunday morning. I ran big C.
No. Who's it? Wow.
I came back.
Nothing suspicious.
Orlando is on.
Yeah. Still, yeah. I'm sure. I'm not 100% sure that's really what it's called. Yeah, they're wondering. He's cool. He's hey, what's up with that? Yeah. It was a big scene. Like, oh, you mean for the people about the word? The police. Yeah. Yes. Flooded up and all. I'll confirm. Yeah. Yeah, there's nothing, no reason to be here. Hello, how are you? Hello.
Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening. This regular meeting of the Township Council is being held in accordance with the scheduled meetings of the Township Council established and adopted by the Township Council, which schedule designated the time, date, and place of this meeting. Adequate public notice of this meeting has been provided pursuant to the provisions of the Open Public Meetings Act. We are using electronic amplifying and recording device in order to obtain a clear and audible record. We request all those wishing to speak be recognized and state your name and address directly into the microphone. The recording device is to be solely utilized by the Township Clerk's Office for the preparation of the minutes and shall be the official record of the Township Council meeting. Madam Clerk, may I have the roll call, please?
Mr. Hutchison.
This is Mr. Hutchinson's running late. He has a family matter.
Mr. Schmidt.
Present.
Mrs. Stubbs.
She has a family matter as well, will not be here today.
Mrs. Winters. Here. Mr. Mignone.
Here.
Mrs. Trotta. Here. Mr. Mercado.
Present.
Mr. Lexman. Chief Earl.
Here.
Mr. Carlemere. Here. Mr. Cardis. Mr. Campbell.
Here.
We have a resolution to go into closed session regarding a workman's compensation matter. I entertain a motion to approve resolution R-16 10-286. Is there a motion?
Second.
Second on the question. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Mr. Schmidt.
Yes.
Mrs. Winters. Yes. Mr. Mignone.
Yes.
Mrs. Trotta. Yes. Mr. Mercado.
Yes, we should be in closed session no longer than 15 minutes. Thank you.
Kim? No, no, right here. He's away dragging it out.
Where is he coming from?
He's coming down from Massachusetts.
Okay.
In there, if you have any.
All right. Good, how about you?
Hey, thanks.
Oh, thanks. Yeah.
By the way, we requested you want to sing one with me.
Not me. That's for sure.
You got any jokes?
Yeah, I'm not quick enough with the jokes. Sergeant Coppola in the back there, he's quick with the jokes.
Oh, yes, yeah, he's got a good sense of humor.
Yes. I put you on the spot. So.
Tell a joke or you sing?
If you don't want me to sing, I can carry a tune with the ball.
Sing solo. Solo, we won't hear you.
This is somebody else's expression.
That's free speech too. Back in the old days, South Philly, you know what it meant to take a knee? These knuckleheads taking a knee to the national anthem. You know in South Philly what it used to mean to take a knee? Go for two. I was making nice with Mrs. Polidori. Saturday she came home to a nice dinner. My brother-in-law, her brother, and wife came to play cards. And it was made last night. Started my macaroni, my gravy at 10 o'clock in the morning. I've been doing good.
Sounds good, yeah.
She said, now if I can only get you full clothes. I'll go out and buy new clothes before I fold clothes. I am not folding clothes.
Hang them up.
I did that. I hung all the clothes up, which called me lazy. Everything was hanging. T-shirts, everything, socks and underwear were hanging. Take a T-shirt off, you fold it, use in the drawers. Take it out. It's got lines. You'll see the iron. That's right back into the dryer. Who? Oh, for the Union lid, the brass rail they took?
Yeah. Did you see that? We're calling it.
You're going to find out that there's more to it than just the regular theft.
Well, they
had pictures of
had pictures and they were wrapping it up in some sort of canvas or something and carting it off, like a couple blocks away or something.
What about what you think it would be other
What is,
something against the Union League?
what does the Union League stand for?
That would be unique.
It's more or less conservative.
Oh. Anti-conservative.
No, bring the street down, I watch Pat Toomey and
Katie
Katie McGinty commercials.
But actually, there's a debate tonight, debating,
Yeah.
Channel 6,
They're debating.
7 to 8. Yeah.
Right now.
Jim Gardner, I'm seeing two of them.
I wonder how much they spend.
More than any Senate campaign in the
All
country.
of the TVs that they have.
I wonder why they spend cold law. I guess they spend a lot of money for position.
They just went into closed session.
Oh, it's all
They just
power,
went into closed
right?
session.
Yeah,
Workman's comp matter.
Didn't you know what's going on with the landfill and some of the, what they've been doing in there?
Starting the solar.
Started solar power,
Is that what
probably.
they're doing? Oh, it's
Probably, yeah.
It's a waste now.
What is that?
9 years ago, the previous mayor wanted to put the solar panels up on the Gems landfill. The extract was 650 megawatt. Would have been, and it would have cost the taxpayer a time. Investors would have come in, paid for solar. The surplus electricity would have provided refunding of the investors. It would have been a pie. Everybody got a slice of the pie, including the township would have gotten one section of that pie. So at no cost to the taxpayers. The extra value rate was, all the investors would have been reimbursed. The township would have had a source of revenue. Shot it down.
Really?
Well, first they said it would break the cap, then they would build solar panels on the landfill by putting them on sled. And they like all the sleds together. And then that didn't work, so we found an endangered flower and the ran into the swamp.
Now, there's still swamp here, but all of a sudden there's a little bit of use. It's kind of wild. I wonder if everything on that.
I mean, you guys can be in touch with what's going on. And I should have asked this. Sales, solar, sales, homes, tax delinquencies.
Yeah.
And there's that auction.
There's a
I've seen one here. Sign of auction.com.
I don't know about solar.com, but
I was thinking about it.
But that's the auction.
I want to buy them.
solar city.
I want to buy a roof. Yeah, I want to buy the solar panels for get it back from the state.
You get an automatic rebate.
Yeah. And then
And then
they give you a low interest rate and buy.
How are you?
And buying it.
Now, why do they have closed session?
the works, the works, but they say they'll do without. I've got 4 houses on my lot. But none of them
So if I give you a call, your son, I live very close to your
They're in every development, really.
2 houses.
I'm in Broadmoor.
Okay. Right, my daughter was.
Yes. The opposite way. I'm towards the cemetery. I still have 2 acres right there.
You live
My son has a house next door. There's only 2 houses.
My kids were good kids.
The cemetery. My son
Mr. Hutchinson.
Present, sorry for my tardiness.
Mr. Schmidt. Mrs. Winters. Here. Mr. Mignon.
Here.
Mrs. Trotta. Here. Mr. Mercado.
Present. With resolution 16, colon 10-286, workman's compensation issue, that is still unresolved. We'll now have our first public portion. Anyone wishing to speak on any agenda items only, please raise your hand. Seeing none, we'll close the first public portion. Waive the reading and accept the minutes of the regular meeting of October 12th, 2016. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
On the question, roll call, Madam Clerk.
Mr. Hutchinson.
Abstain.
Mr. Schmidt.
Yes.
Mrs. Winters. Yes. Mr. Mignon.
Yes.
Mrs. Trotta. Yes. Mr. Mercado.
Abstain, I was not present that evening. Resolutions of consent agenda. Any council member that wish to remove any of the items on the consent agenda, please speak up. Hearing none, I entertain a motion to accept the consent agenda.
Second.
On the question, roll call, Madam Clerk.
Mr. Hutchinson.
Yes.
Mr. Schmidt.
Yes.
Mrs. Winters. Yes. Mr. Mignon.
Yes.
Mrs. Trotta. Yes. Mr. Mercado.
Yes. We did not receive any GTE Gov access emails. We'll open up the second public portion. Any item may be addressed to council. Raise your hand. We'll recognize you. Mr. Polidoro.
Good evening, Council. Ray Palidor, Ariel.
Good evening.
Just a very quick question. Some time ago, we purchased 4 Chevy Volts, electric cars, hybrid cars. At the time, I asked Mr. Cardis about the rebates, the incentive rebates that were to come back. I never heard anything on that we received any rebates. Generally, it's a tax incentive that reduces the tax per vehicle, per entity, around $7,000, which multiplied times 4. Do we know if we applied for that rebate, and did we get that?
Mr. Polidoro, I do not know if we applied for it or if we received the rebate. I will reach out to Mr. Carter. He's out this evening, and I'll provide an answer for you prior to the next meeting.
That'd be great. Thank you. Enjoy your night.
Thank you. Have a great evening. Anyone else? Mr. Williams, how are you?
Good evening, Jim Williams, Tiffany Place, Ariel. First of all, I'd like to thank the chief. Last meeting, I brought up a property that in the area that was being there were some kids that were on the property, walking around on the porch, smoking, walking around the backyard. There were also some property that was missing. I noticed that the property ended up originally when it was on that property, and it went into can't find the word. They don't pay their taxes, don't pay anything. Foreclosure, that's it. That property itself ended up on the next door neighbor's property. I don't know, I can't say anything, but the chief had an officer call me, tell me that it was being watched, the property from teenagers or people trespassing, and I would just like to thank the chief for addressing that issue from the last time. I had a question. Do we have a number on how many body cameras our police officers have when they're out on patrol?
They were, before I asked the chief to answer that, I know that we were buying them in increments. Chief, do you have a total amount?
Yeah, 126 total
Okay.
is the number, but none are actually in service yet. They're just arriving now.
Okay.
To get into do a pilot test on it.
Okay, how would they be assigned? Hopefully will we have everyone that's out on patrol have one, or?
Every officer on patrol will have
Oh,
one.
great. Last meeting, I brought up the issue of the gas, the new gas tax that's being implemented in New Jersey, and I asked Tom if any numbers were being crunched on what it's going to cost the township, and I know he's not here, but I want to say maybe 2 years ago, the mayor was very proud of the fact that we had a shared services with, I think, Pine Hill and maybe Stratford, and I could be wrong because I'm not really sure. But what are we going to do? I mean, you're talking about, like, if you go to ShopRite and buy some food, it costs X amount of dollars. You go to BJ's, in volume, it's going to cost you less money. So we may be going out to other townships or cities and asking them if they could maybe go through, with shared services, buy in volume, that would be less money it would cost us and them, or
Currently, we purchase our fuel in volume. We have shared services with Pine Hill, I believe the Gloucester Township MUA as well. Do you know for fire districts?
I think some of the fire districts, one or two of them might have shared.
Okay. I believe there may be another municipality, but I can find that out for you, Mr. Williams. But it's purchased in volume, and they gas up over at the Public Works facility on Neal Road.
that's fine. I'm wondering, I'm at meetings periodically, and not all the time, but with 10 grandchildren, it's always running here and running there. Is anyone can answer why the mayor's not here at these meetings?
Well, this is considered the council meeting. In previous years, there were mayors that attended the meetings, and there was a part of the agenda where the mayor was on the agenda. He's not obligated to be here, Mr. Williams. He does have office hours, Monday through Thursday. He's also here on Fridays. He is available to meet with residents. But it's not a requirement for him to be here. He does come here to some of the events that we have here, but it's not something that's required of the mayor.
Personally, I love the mayor. I see him at different functions, and he's there, but I don't know. In my opinion, like I said, if he can be here to give awards to hockey players, and it's great what these kids did when they went to England. It was fantastic. I don't see any reason why he couldn't stick around for another 45 minutes to an hour and sit over here like he did for the first 3-4 years, and then all of a sudden he's not here. There's no election coming up, so it'll be another election, for somebody else. But I'm not, I don't want to throw darts, but that's my personal opinion. I think, and when he was first elected, he was very educated on a lot of things that would be pushed over to him, or he could just get up and say, well, let me just shine a light on that one or do something. But I just think he could be here. Thank you.
I'll share your thoughts with him. Thank you, Mr. Williams. Anyone else? See, Mr. Sweet.
Sam Sweet from Ariel over at Elizabeth Place, or Elizabeth Place over at Ariel. Just wanted to clarify, going back to last council meeting where we had the housing authority doing those housing, just so I'm clear, there's a cap on it of the money that can be spent, correct, on these houses? They're not going to go over, like, whatever the money is. I think Mr. Carter said it was like $500,000. That's going to be in a pool to be used to fix up these houses. And then I know that there's no profit because Gloucester Township becomes the #1 lien holder.
Mr. Carter.
I think when he said 500, that's what's in our co-op trust fund now.
Yeah, I'm not worried about the exact amount.
I don't believe all those dollars are going to be used for the abandoned properties once that gets off.
I'm not worried about the exact dollar amount. I was just kind of, what I'm more worried about is who's going to do the accounting for, like, are we going to get a report of, hey, we bought this house at, ABC Street, we bought this house at Elizabeth Place, we bought this house at Cherrywood, and we're now the #1 lien holder and we're spending this. Like, who's going to be overseeing that is kind of my question.
Well, that has to, if I can just my knowledge of the way the system is going to work, as you indicated, it has to go through the court for court approval. So in order for the township to recover its dollars, it's got to account for the dollars that it's expending. That'll be part of the final court order if the house goes up for market value for sale. And that puts the township ahead of all the other lien holders.
Okay, so
Get our dollars back.
so there is a, like, I guess, checks and balances in the court system.
Correct.
Okay, getting back to that, again, I know there was some, not confusion, but we didn't know who was deciding on the houses. That's the housing authority, but is it just all the houses, like, that are being foreclosed on in the area, and you guys are gonna pick and choose, or the housing authority's gonna pick and choose? I know you guys aren't.
Well,
But-
naturally, the mechanics of it is being worked out now. The public officer of the township is by Mr. Cardis by ordinance. The choice and selection is going to come from the township.
Okay, so then he's gonna choose which ones of those are the,
And it has to meet the criteria that's established by statute.
I don't, I would guess that that's an administrative function as opposed to a legislative.
Correct, it's an administrative function.
and will that be a record of those houses that are being submitted or being looked at?
I would imagine once there's a recommendation as to what property is being selected and that it meets the criteria, it has to go through the court system. But I would imagine that's administrative, and that should be something that's available.
And when is this actually going to start taking place?
I can't answer that. Where I would imagine the mechanics now have to be put together.
Because you guys voted on to do it, correct?
Correct.
So now it's just a matter of the mechanics, like you said?
Correct.
6 months, 3 to 6 months,
Might be. Yeah.
in that range?
I would tend to think.
All right, that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Is there anyone else? Ms. Carr?
Joanne Carr, Timber Birch. Just a public service announcement. The Historic Committee is having a fundraising event this Friday night, October 28th, at the Gabriel Davies Tavern. You can guess, it will be a ghost event. And we're looking for anybody who would like to come out. I know it's the same night as the trunk or treat, but if you can get past that, or you just want to come without the kids, we'd be happy to have you.
Thank you very much. Is there anyone else? Seeing none, we'll close the second public portion. Calling on directors.
Mr. Lechner.
I have nothing to report, thank you.
Chief Earl.
Nothing to report, thank you.
Mr. Carler.
Nothing to report.
Mr. Cantwell.
Nothing to report.
Mr. Hutchinson.
Thank you very much for coming out this evening. Have a good evening.
Mr. Schmidt.
Thank you all again for coming out this evening. Have a nice evening.
Mrs. Winters. Mr. Mignon.
Thank you all for coming out. Have a happy Halloween and safe trick-or-treat.
Mrs. Trotter.
Thank you for coming out. Have a good week and happy Halloween.
Mr. Mercado.
A few things. Mrs. Kelly, I received your email. We will put that on the workshop agenda for November. Okay, thank you. Trunk or treat this Friday at Veterans Park. We're still looking for some trunks. So how it works is you decorate your car, you pass out candy. If you run out of candy, we've had a generous donations of candy that will help supplement your car. So those folks out in the audience who would like to volunteer, it's a wonderful event here in Gloucester Township. It runs from 7 to 9. There'll be hay rides. There's a DJ. There's hot chocolate. And it's for kids that are under the age of 13 here in Veterans Park. It's a wonderful community event. So if you can make it out, please come out. And don't forget to vote on November 8th, not the 28th. All right. So if anyone has any, with that, I entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Is there a second? Second. All those in favor? Thank you. Have a good evening. Oh, they had November 35th.
Mike.
Start with